An off-the-plan buyer struggling with repayments. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee. I thought we'd have a look at this article which is discussing, well, not an article this time, a Facebook post where someone is sharing the struggles they are having with making mortgage repayments and how it's getting harder and harder. Now, for those of you playing at home, let me bring up my chart here showing the cash rate. And I haven't updated it because, well, yesterday, the Reserve Bank held rates. And we'll look at that in another video where 80% of the financial gigachads on the channel got it wrong. They held. So has it peaked? Or is this just a momentary pause to see how the economy's going? Is it hope for people like the one we're looking at here who's really struggling making mortgage repayments? Now, I've made the argument that the media will tend to focus on the hyper negative, or will amplify the negative side to most stories. And because of that, we tend to get probably a skewed perception of the average Australian's financial intelligence and financial abilities and financial competence, because everything we see in the media is going to be negative. It'll be some sob story. It'll be, well, when they had the government implementing eviction caps and allowing people to rent without paying. It was a teacher who'd bought 5 properties, paying interest only on all of them, who had no way to make the repayments, and of course was blaming others. Now, that's the negative side. That's the emphasis on it. Then you get the other side of the story. You know, someone who's trapped in payday loans and racked up all this debt and has just made really stupid decisions and is blaming others and thinks there needs to be more rules or more interventions or more controls rather than taking responsibility for their own actions. Because, well, of course they're going to focus on those stories because we're all going to look at them and watch them and with a morbid curiosity, like watching Jerry Springer. But I don't think the average Aussie is that bad. I think the average Aussie, majority of them, have got their heads screwed on. They're planning for what's coming. A big chunk of us are old enough to remember the last recession, if not while we were working. Certainly our parents were working. And I think most people will be okay. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just naively optimistic. Could be. Wouldn't be the first time. So let's have a look at this Facebook post. Okay, I bought off the plan before interest increases off the plan. Now, I'm not a fan of off the plan because I'm an architect. I draw plans, and some of the stuff that they're selling to people, there's so little resolution in the project that it can all change. And not due to any malicious intent. It can all change. The thicknesses of walls can change. There may be structural issues that haven't been identified. It's just simply the process of coordination that will necessitate changes. Now, people are buying off the plan. They're taking that risk. You have to understand you're taking that risk that everything can change. And you don't know what you're getting. The plan could be thrown out. The fixtures and fittings that are specified could all change. The only way you know what you're going to get is either you've got a proper set of detailed documents, real plan, construction documents, and that's the contract you're signing, not some pretty renders, and including a schedule. I told you all about the time where there was a showroom for a developer. What they'd do is they'd get all the nice Italian fixtures and fittings and the German and Italian and European stoves and taps and all of this stuff, real posh stuff. And they get knockoffs in China. So you'd get the knockoff in your multi-million-dollar apartment or townhouse, and in the showroom would be all the nice stuff. There you go. So that's why I want people to be educated and to understand the risks involved with off the plan. Remember, we saw people buying apartments, and they were meant to have courtyards that didn't exist. So I factored in interest and was okay with it up to 5%, even up to 6%. Okay, so this person did the sensible thing. They're not the completely, financially illiterate nincompoop we see on the bloody YouTube, the news media. They're doing the sensible thing. They've got, planning for the future. However, I didn't anticipate on a cost of living crisis. Floods, which delayed my land and build, or the war. Well, yeah, I mean, all of these, you can't anticipate these things, can you? This is why Dave Ramsey rambles on and on, just emphasizes the emergency fund, the emergency fund, the emergency fund. So as a result, my land and build took 2 years, and I'm getting hit with every interest rate. On a tiny house, less than $455,000 mortgage, I'm struggling with paying over $700 a week on the mortgage. And when I say it's tiny, it's 280 square meters with a 3-bedroom house. Surely $700 plus a week is a bit much for that. Well, is it? Why? Why is it a bit much for that? It's more than rent, depending on where your location is. So let's have a look and try and guess how much interest they're paying, what deal they've got here. Here we go. So what were they saying? 455K, 455. So they're about the South Australian, just under the average South Australian mortgage. And what are their repayments? $700 a week. So I'll say that divided by 4 roughly. So they're getting about 6%, 455. So yeah, about 6.5% looks like. Maybe a bit less depending on how long their mortgage is, maybe a bit more. But they're paying $700 a week. That's less than $3,000 a month for a house. It's an asset, something that you can live in. You've got stability with it there. $33,000 a year. I mean, we can see the difference from. The problem is the difference is from what is it? The 1.99. So if they got in at 1.99, these super low fantasy rates, a lot of us are still locked in on, they've seen an increase of what, 66%. So it's gone up. So we're not talking insane amounts here, but it's going to be more than renting depending on where your location is. So my health has deteriorated. Oh, no. I mean, that's another unknown. That's another unknown. And I've had to drop to part-time, which now impacts being able to refinance, which was my plan to ride it out. But alas, plans don't always go to plan. Yeah, this poor person, everything's hitting them. I don't want to sell it. It's my first home, and I built it. And I really can't go back into the rental market. I'll never get a house being part-time and a single parent. Oh, so they're a single parent too. We're in a world now in Australia where you need 2 people to get a house comfortably. We're not in a world now where one person can get a house normally. It's not easy. This is why people have always paired off. I guess my post is more of a rant than anything. I knew interest rate would go up. I did my research. And in my opinion, I'm quite sure that it's going to continue to go up. I wonder, did they get that 2% government-backed home loan for being a single parent? Is this one of the 10,000 people? I wouldn't be shocked if it is. Let's have a bit of a chat about this one, guys. I mean, the normal advice would be rent out the rooms to increase your income. But the problem is when you're a single parent with children, you may not want strangers around your kid. That's completely fair and reasonable. Having a non-biological adult, a non-biologically related adult in the household living with your child creates another risk point that you want to mitigate. Maybe this parent has to rent out the house entirely and live somewhere else, but you're probably not going to get ahead then in this rental market. Maybe they've just overstretched themselves. I mean, we're talking $455,000. It's not that much. but it's getting more and more expensive. What would your suggestions be, everyone? I think they're going to have to try and cut back as much as they can and find a way to work more. It's just sad. And we're going to see more of this because a recession is probably going to turn up. Maybe not the entire country, maybe just certain sectors. Because even if we see people cutting back on their discretionary spending, which hasn't seemed to materialize yet, we'll see certain sectors hit. And then they will go. That you'll have like a recession in retail and not other areas. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. I think it's another example why there's going to be continued demand for established houses. People don't want to go through the risk of building, the delays and the issues. Thanks for watching. Check out Heise BIM or Heise Does if you're a fan of my content. If you want to support us, you can on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links, buy our pocket squares, or call me if you need an architect. Take care. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.